Hello everybody, this is Sam here with Dexplayer.com, and today we're going to be talking about the honeypot risk and how to minimize it. Let's go. Okay, so let's get right into it, guys. First of all, let me present to you the overview. We're first going to talk about what a token honeypot risk is. We're going to give an example of a honeypot. We're going to talk a little bit about how it is created, and we're going to talk about how can we minimize the risk of a honeypot. So first of all, before I define what the honeypot risk is, I'll define what a honeypot is. So a honeypot is just a smart contract that is designed to attract people to buy into it, but it prevents them from selling it. So the honeypot risk is the risk that you will not be able to sell the tokens that you buy. And if you don't know what a smart contract is, you can check in my description down below. I'll put a link to the video I made defining that. All right, so let's get over an example of a honeypot. So the first step is we have a victim that buys shares of a honeypot token on an exchange. After that, the scam token will automatically activate malicious code to prevent the new victim from selling. And then the token price will go up. It's going to go up 20%, 40%, 70%. And so the victim will want to cash out. But then when he goes on and tries to sell the token that he just bought, he's not going to be able to. He's going to get some kind of error on the exchange, and he's just not going to be able to sell it. And this is a typical example of how a honeypot operates. Okay, so here I'll quickly show the process of how a honeypot is created. So the first step is we have someone that creates a smart contract that only allows certain addresses to transfer tokens. Then he makes sure that these addresses are controlled only by him. He funds these addresses with stable coins. Then he goes on and create a liquidity pool for the token. He then adds stable coins to the liquidity pool. He uses the addresses that he controls to pump the price. This is the tactic used to attract people to buy into the honeypot. And then he makes sure to buy and sell with the addresses that he controls, just to, try to gain the trust of the people looking at this smart contract. And he waits for the victims to buy the token. They won't be able to sell. And so their coins are just going to stay in the pool. And then when the scammer has enough stable coins in the pool, he's just going to remove the liquidity and take all the profits. Okay, so what can we do to reduce our risk of getting into a honeypot? The first thing we can do is we can evaluate the honeypot risk with a model. So a good model will reduce the probability of you buying into a honeypot. And after that, we can diversify our bets to reduce the impact of the money we lose when we do get into a honeypot. So here I want to talk about the honeypot risk model of Dexplayer. So as you may know, our company is all about reducing the risk of crypto traders to get into honeypots. So we have 4 pillars. The first one is the code analysis. Code analysis is it looks at the smart contract code and it detects if there's any methods, any pieces of code that are designed to trap the money and to prevent people from selling the token that they buy. After that, we have the trading simulations. So what it does is that it replicates the blockchain and it simulates transactions and it tells us if we were able to buy and sell in these simulations. Finally, we have the transaction analysis that looks at the transactions that are called on the smart contracts, and it tells us if there's any calls that are suspicious on this smart contract. So with these three methods, we're able to make a pretty strong risk model. And then finally, we have the machine learning pillar, but this is an upcoming feature of the honeypot risk model, and it's under development. It's gonna be ready in 2024. And what we have to know is that there's no perfect honeypot risk model. Our honeypot model is continuously under development, and it's continuously getting better. So before placing a trade, you can also look at other websites like tokensniffer.com and honeypot.is that have different, and they have their own honeypot risk model. And so it can give you a better idea of if it's risky or not. And finally, spreading your bets is an effective way to reduce your risk. So a good rule of thumb is to avoid betting more than 10% on a single token. If you want to be more conservative, you can go in a range of 2% to 5%. So if we have an example, if you have a crypto wallet with $1,000, you should not bet more than $100 on a single token. This way, if you make a mistake, you still have money to make up for your losses. If you want to be more conservative, you wouldn't bet more than $50 on a $1,000 wallet, which would be 5%.